Okay, we're here at a tri-rail station. Yeah, that's where we are. That's your view. Yeah, let me just show you. Let me show you around a little bit the tri-rail station. There's a couple people waiting for the train here in Florida. But anyway, I wanted to finish up that conversation about GOAT, the greatest of all time quarterback. Now, it's an addendum. I already did 10 minutes. I got to do a few more minutes here. Um, Terry Bradshaw. I left out his name, and then I left out his name for a reason. He's not even in the discussion. That's why he didn't deserve to be in that first 10-minute discussion. But he's got 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, again, here we are with that problem again. And Jim Plunkett is going to be one of the greats for having 2 Super Bowls, and Eli Manning going to be one of the greats because he has 2 Super Bowls. You can't go by Super Bowl wins. And Terry Bradshaw was a very good. I'm not saying Terry Bradshaw wasn't very good. I don't even know if he's one of the greats of all. I don't even call him a great quarterback. He certainly was not great in his early years. You want to tell me? I've actually had this discussion with Dave Damashek, the guy. When I say discussion on NFL.com, he'll answer if you write a note on the bottom on a Dave Damashek. Article, he'll actually answer. And he said that, when it got to Super Bowls 13 and 14, Bradshaw by that time was throwing the ball more and showed that he's one of the greats. Okay, I'm certainly not putting him in the same sentence with Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. Okay, so we go to, but again, one of the difficulties here has been I've been trying to do the following. Carson Palmer, let's take Carson Palmer for a second, just in rating him. This is the past few years he's been on the Arizona Cardinals here, and he has been doing very well. This year he went a little bit back on. We're now after the 2016 season, but I feel that he's still only about the 25th, between 20 and 25th best quarterback in the league, somewhere near there, about the 20th. If you would put other quarterbacks on Arizona, they would suddenly be producing like Arizona. So I'm playing that game. I'm playing that game of trying to figure out who's the better quarterback, not because of how he did, but based on, taking other factors. Like in this case, Bruce Arians is a great offensive coach and resurrected Carson Palmer's career. Carson Palmer, before he got there, was not doing that well. He had a nice 4,000-yard season in Oakland with plenty of interceptions. Already in his last few years at Cincinnati, he was well on his decline and was, throwing too many picks. So again, I'm playing that game. You got to try to figure out the quarterback based on the quarterback, not based on what he did for that particular team. It's obviously a difficult. And let me give you the list again. Let's go through my list. My list is Dan Marino, best ever. Again, no rings. I understand that. Take into account the team he played for. But if you watched him, you'd say, man, that is the best quarterback you've ever seen. Now, it's hard to rate from there. You got Joe Montana's obviously up there. Obviously, John Elway's up there. Tom Brady. I lowered Peyton Manning because he personally did not play well in 16 of his 27 playoff games. And to me, how you play personally in the playoffs is a big factor. Again, not if they won Super Bowls, that's a team thing, but how you personally played in the playoffs and Super Bowl. And then Aaron Rodgers, for example, I don't hold the fact that he only has 1 Super Bowl to his credit. He's played tremendous ball, playoffs, and Super Bowl. Now, every quarterback, I didn't get a chance to emphasize this, every quarterback out there has bad games. So, well, what about this bad game? Even Tom Brady, they're saying he's the GOAT after this tremendous Super Bowl 51. Tom Brady has had bad games in the playoffs. You may remember a couple of bad games in Denver. He hasn't played in championship games against Peyton Manning. Did not play well in when Peyton Manning went on to win went on to lose Super Bowl 44. You remember New England went into Denver for the championship game, and Brady was not good. He was overthrowing open guys, and he was missing open guys. He seems to always overthrow in Denver. He's never had a particularly good deep ball. That's not his strength. Tom Brady's strength is his short. Here comes his jet rocket. Hold on. We're right near the Fort Lauderdale airport. All right, but the Tom Brady's strength is his short game. Tremendous on accuracy, putting that ball right in there in a tight window, getting rid of it to an open receiver, that's sideline or middle, his short game is what makes Tom Brady great. His leadership, his drive, his will to win. Those are all big factors in making him one of the greats ever. But he never had a great deep ball, and he had bad games in Denver twice. Also, of course, last year's championship game. And he has bad games when you hit him around. Now, of course, I understand that when a defense hits around, all quarterbacks drop. I understand it. But Brady for sure gets happy feet. The Giants twice bothered him with pass rush, particularly in Super Bowl 42. And Brady, if you check my Salty Peppers productions, I show you there where I give Giant defense credit in Super Bowl 42, but where I also find that Brady had some negatives in Super Bowl 42. He took a few sacks that put him out of field goal. He took a sack that put him out of field goal range there. Twice he actually did that. That's right, twice, right before the half. And then the Strahan sack that puts him in deep field goal range, where suddenly Belichick went for it from 4th and 10 instead of going for the 48-yard field goal. All right, we digress. I'm just showing you that Tom Brady has negatives too. Joe Montana has negatives. I didn't get a chance to talk about that. He was knocked around by the Giants a few times. He got concussions from Leonard Marshall in the championship game, one of my favorite game of all time. Joe Montana getting knocked out by Leonard Marshall in the 15-13 Matt Barr game. Giants not getting one touchdown but winning 15-13. So Joe Montana was held to 13 there. He 49-3. How could I forget that one? Where the Giants go on to win Super Bowl 21. Yeah, Super Bowl 21. Jim Burt gives Joe Montana a concussion. He's out of there by the first half. Not one of his better games. Again, of course, if you're playing a great defense, we know dominant defenses win championships. And I'm not expecting Joe Montana to sling the ball around against a great Giant defense, but he played pretty bad in that game and has had bad performances. He had a bad performance against the Vikings, a famous one where he was a big favorite and didn't do well. Every quarterback has their bad games out there. That doesn't take them away from being amongst the greats, because they all have bad games. So we got Marino at the top, Mr. Montana. Elway we pointed out, had bad games all over the place, but still, again, tremendous. And he add his legs to the equation, that he was able to scramble, create more time, and run, and use that effectively. Besides his cannon of an arm, he probably has the greatest arm of all time as far as deep ball. He can throw the deep ball or the cannon 15-yard throw. Montana was more accuracy and seeing the field, and going to his first read, second read, third read. Elway was the strength of arm and accuracy. And I would put Brady, again, accuracy also. Brady's more of a Montana type guy. And then let's bring in Brett Favre. Brett Favre is more of a Elway type guy, slinging it. And here's where another difficulty in rating quarterbacks is, if they throw a lot of interceptions, usually obviously that'll take away from the greatness. But in Brett Favre's case, he's slinging the ball around. He's trying to make big plays. He made many more big plays than any quarterback probably in the history of football. That's because he's trying for big plays, and that's of course going to result in interceptions. I would assume, and again, there's no way you can put a stat to what I'm about to say, but I would say he made more big plays that outweighed the amount of negatives from the interceptions. The positives from his big plays, I'm going to say, outweighed the negatives from his INTs and forced throws. And he had a couple of interceptions against the Giants again in championship game, against Minnesota. Here comes another plane. That last interception against the Saints was a killer for Brett Favre. But that was towards the end of his career when he wasn't great anyway. But that's another great thing about Favre, is the longevity, that he kept quality football, quality quarterback well into his high 30s and even 40s. So Brett Favre, you got to put up there in the tops of ever. Again, don't put Terry Bradshaw there. I'll make a mention of Roger Staubach, but that's going back in time. I love Roger Staubach. Don't underrate Fran Tarkington, even though, a lot of his, because of longevity, that's why he had a lot of the records and stats. But he was a very, he used his legs to scramble and create plays, and is one of the great quarterbacks of all time. You cannot deny that. I'm not going to put him up there with the Marinos of the world. Am I missing anybody? Peyton Manning again, I lowered because of his playoff performance. Who am I missing? You want to do now the ones that are playing now? Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger. I'm supposed to mention them maybe because they're still playing. I'm not able to take a look back and say they're the greats of all time. I can't. I'm not mentioning them amongst greats. Ben Roethlisberger is not that accurate. I mean, his greatness is extending plays, moving around in the pocket, and now again, I realized that by Ben Roethlisberger in his first years and his first Super Bowls, it was the defense that was mainly winning Super Bowls, and they had a powerful running game. More recently, in 2015, 16, after the Pittsburgh lost their great defense, they no longer are the great defensive team. No more Dick LeBeau and Troy Polamalu and those guys, and of course all the linemen and linebackers they had. I got to mention those over the years. They now became a more offensive team, and Ben Roethlisberger showed you that he could put up 30 points a game in that type of offense. So, got to give Ben credit there. Maybe had he been doing that all his career, I would be more tempted to put him up there in the tops. But right now, I'm not putting him up there in the tops of all time. That's your list. I went 11 minutes ago. I thought I was going to go 5. I went 11. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Again, I'm not going back to the Otto Grahams and Johnny Unitises and Y.A. Tittles and who knows back then, Sammy Barr. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that here. We're sticking to now. And did I miss anybody? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I didn't mention Dan Fouts. Did I mention Dan? No, Dan Fouts is a great quarterback, but not up among the greats. And that's it. That's Assault Production. The GOAT, Dan Marino. Your best quarterback ever. And I don't even, I'm not flinching on that one.